Bitcoin brings more social justice by giving everyone equal access to the financial system. But at the end of the day, we don't have to know how the iPhone works. We just have to know how to use it, and we have to know that it works how we want it to work. And the same for Bitcoin. And they spend because economy has to go, and that's why each tile says buy. It's a commentary on this economic landscape that forces us to consume, that forces us to spend our money endlessly just to fuel the system. Other people that see the sticker and she has like the Bitcoin earrings and she has the message, change the money, change the world. You can also ask yourself, who is this woman? Who is this actually? And then you can learn something completely different.
It's really cool to have you on, because I think most people in Bitcoin, especially if they are active on Twitter or like on conferences or something like that, they probably have seen art inspired by you or by you, which is super interesting to see. But for those who don't know you, who are you? And next to it, I think I'll already show some art so people have a picture of that in their head while you can talk about like who are you and where you're coming from.
Yeah, sure, cool. So I'm Street. I'm the founder of Street Cyber. We are an international crew of artists who use art as a medium to raise awareness about financial education, about Bitcoin, and how it solves the major problems of our financial system today, which are inflation, borders, privacy, and segregation. And resulting from this comes the social impact of money on our society. And this is what we try to show in public to people outside of the space that are lacking financial literacy because we are not being taught about things like this nowhere, not in high school, not in university, nowhere. And we try to make the people curious, so they start asking questions, so they make their own research.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it's super important for Bitcoin to be as present as possible in as many different ways as possible. So not only it being present in like libraries with books, and it being present on like TV or on like CNN and stuff like that, but also just on street. And I think it's so amazing to have like this caught my eye, the banana. I think there was like a huge banana, like a huge an extremely expensive banana that was selling as an art piece. I think that's probably the inspiration for that buy Bitcoin thing.
Right, that's the banana. I think it was sold this year 5 million, and a couple of years ago for 200,000. And Justin Sun from Tron, he bought the banana. So it also shows how art is being used as marketing, and we use it also as marketing because this banana is popular in the art culture. People on the street will see it, they will pay attention, and subconsciously they will read the text by Bitcoin. Some even maybe don't see it, but the subconscious will read it, and it's like an orange pill. So we always use art that people on the street can relate to, something that is relevant today. And then we add the Bitcoin message, the Bitcoin symbol, or something connected to Bitcoin to show them something new. So we use something that the person already knows, and then we add Bitcoin as a new aspect to try to get them used to it.
I love that approach a lot. How did this all started for you? Like how did you get into doing that? You kickstarted that, you founded that, and now you kind of inspired a small movement in there. How did this get started?
Right. So I started with Bitcoin in 2005. 2014, 2015. This was the moment where I realized that the financial system is corrupt in itself, and that to win this game, this economic game, there needs something else than what we had at this time. And Bitcoin was this something else. And I realized it very early, and now almost 10 years I'm studying Bitcoin, studying all the technology around it, and it's going into many different aspects. It's political, it's scientific, it's mathematic, it's a lot, it's technological, so there's a lot to learn about it. And after like 6 or 7 years where I felt that I learned the base about Bitcoin, I started creating classes, teaching private companies, private people about it, how to store it right. So doing consultations, and I wanted to reach a bigger audience. So when I moved to Barcelona from Berlin in 2020, the city inspired me. The artists here, the street artists like Buro or Colbon, or many really great artists that are active here on the streets. They inspired me, and I started putting the knowledge that I gathered over the last 10 years into the art pieces on a very basic level. So a person that sees it maybe doesn't understand it right away, but if the person gets curious and asks questions, they will find the answers by themselves.
Interesting. I love that approach. It's super interesting for me when people get the problems of the financial system, especially early on. But because most people never really pay attention to that, most people are not aware of that, even though they suffer the consequences of a bad financial system, they are not aware enough to recognize that. How did it come to your attention? Was there something that like piqued your interest, or like something that like,
Yeah.
oh, like that can be good?
So what really opened my eyes was the movie The Big Short. That's about the financial crisis 2008, 2009. It explains really well what happened at that time and how something like this could happen. And you don't have to do a lot of research to understand that the same circumstances that were valid in 2008, 2009 are still continue. So all these things that led to this big financial crisis at that time, they are growing, and they're not going away anywhere. So it was actually really, really easy to, if you did some research, to see that, because it's not a secret. Nobody hides this information. And this was the point where I understood that I have to do something different. And Bitcoin was the answer, or Bitcoin is the answer.
Interesting. I love that. By the way, how did it come to your name of like street cyber? Is there like obviously street art and then cyber probably from Bitcoin somehow?
Right. So it's I create the artworks on the streets, but it is a topic that is more relatable to the digital realm, to the cyberspace. So what we are doing is we are connecting the street, the real world, with the cyberspace.
So that's basically the connection of like where the real world and the cyberspace comes together.
Right.
I love that displaying the cyberspace in the real world and showing the future of digital payments and digital money. It's kind of a great segue for people in that way.
Thanks. Yeah, in our experience, in my experience, it works very well. When I used to explain Bitcoin, to explain mining, proof of work algorithms, and all this technical things, people, they got drifted away very fast. I lost their interest really, really quick. When I have an artwork, and it's the girl with the balloon, for example, and they ask me what it's about, and I say the name of the artwork is Bitcoin is borderless, and it means it's as easy to send Bitcoin as it's easy to send an email. They understand it much easier, much faster. That it interests them because I don't talk about some uh, magic internet money. I'm talking about an artwork that they can hold in their hands, that they can touch, they can feel, and it makes Bitcoin real to them. It takes it out of this digital world and puts it into the physical world, because we are used to have money in our hand. From the beginning of the invention of currency until Bitcoin. Of course, we still have our phones, but we used to use shells, coins, paper. So it's in our DNA that money we have to be able to feel it, to touch it. And this is a really big bridge that have to build for many people to make the transition into the digital cash.
I love that picture. I mean, unfortunately for the people that are just listening, but it's a beautiful picture where like there's a small kid, and it's kind of lifted up by a Bitcoin balloon, and it's beautiful. And here also, like with the stairs, like I like this symbolic of that, and you get way quicker of like what Bitcoin really tries to do. I do like that, that one. I think I don't know which one would you say is the most popular, but I think that's the one I saw the most. The monkey with the Bitcoin classes with like be your own bank. That's really cool.
Yes, Max Kaiser also really likes the monkey. He was retweeting it, and we also got Telegram stickers.
I love that. Yeah, that's a really cool one. For Bitcoin, Bitcoin in itself wouldn't need the art aspect or the culture aspect or like even like podcast and anything like that. But what would you say is like the importance of having that great art aspect for Bitcoin in forming the kind of the next money, the next like ushering in the next era of financial sovereignty?
So in my eyes, Bitcoin already won, so it doesn't need anyone. Bitcoin efficiency always beats brute force, and Bitcoin is the most efficient technology that we have, the most efficient network, the most efficient form of currency. So it doesn't need anyone. It doesn't need art. Doesn't need music. It doesn't need anyone to talk about it. It will win. It's scientific, and so I think the most important is to have fun. This is the most important. We have our stack. We are hodling. We have long time preference. We know life is good. We know tomorrow we will be richer than today. So what do we have to worry about? Nothing. So we try to make the best out of it. We try to have fun, and our mission is just to let people know that Bitcoin is there. Bitcoin already won. Bitcoin is there for you. It can enhance your financial future. So pay attention, and it will help you. And but at the end, it's your choice. So in the beginning, when I just started with Bitcoin, I think many people can relate. I was walking up to people, talking to them, trying to convince them, and it never ended good, because you can't convince someone who doesn't want to be convinced. You can discuss with them hours, days, years, but you can't convince them. So with the art, with the street art, the people that are interested and curious, they will see the artwork, they will stop, they will take a picture, they will ask a question. So they will come to you instead of you are approaching them and trying to convince them. And I think this is very important, that the people that are ready, that are open, we have to give them the information, which is already really great. You can go online, you can go to YouTube, find many great podcasts, many great technical explanations. And I myself I'm not consider like a technical person, but to understand Bitcoin, I had to learn about system administration and all this technical stuff. And I did it just because it interested me so much. But at the end of the day, we don't have to know how the iPhone works. We just have to know how to use it. And we have to know that it works how we want it to work. And the same for Bitcoin.
Interesting. Yeah, we kind of have to make the thing obvious to people without trying to pull them in some direction. Because like you're totally right. Like nobody understands how the TCP/IP protocol works, but everyone uses it on a daily basis.
Right.
so
Yeah.
we'll come to the same conclusions to Bitcoin, I guess.
Right. Most people don't even know what it is, what the term means. If you ask them, they don't know that it's the internet. They just know that it's much easier. It's inside. It's just packed inside the basic information. So we don't have to make big speeches for the people that really want to understand something. To understand it, and this is what the art showed me, and I didn't think that it will works so great, but it also is really well accepted in the art community. And there are people, for example, they like the message, but they don't like the art. And on the other side, there are people they don't like the message, but they like the art. So sometimes when I on the street I see artwork and someone crossed out the Bitcoin symbol that I put in, but they don't touch the artwork. And it's an interaction with the community, and it's something different. It's something else that most people are used to.
That's super fun. They're like, oh, that's a great art piece, but I don't like Bitcoin. Let's cut that out of that.
Yeah. They just climb up some fence just to black out with the marker the Bitcoin symbol. But they leave the artwork how it is, and it's just funny to see.
There's almost like a street art war of like the art and the messages that go on those walls. Like that's a world that I'm completely outside of. The closest I am connected with that world is actually with that project of Street Cyber, because I see it on online, and then I see the stickers. I never seen something in person. I think at some point I will have to go to a place where I can actually see it. Is there? Oh, that's maybe a weird question, but is there like a map? Is that something that you considered of like making a map where you can, like here is something and here's something? I noticed I think you had a gallery once, if I remember correctly, but is there like a place where like, okay, like on that corner, on that wall, there should be like something in real life?
So I don't have a map, but of course Barcelona is full of this art because we are based in Barcelona. So the most work we do in Barcelona, and what you saw, it was an exhibition, the Art of Revolution exhibition at the Art Vistas Gallery. The exhibition is over, but there are still art pieces in the gallery, and you can also buy stickers there and posters also. And so it's all over Barcelona. It's getting more and more, and we are also working together with the city, doing projects with the city, because in Barcelona, street art is a very important part of the culture. It brings a lot of people to the city, a lot of tourists that are interested in art. So it's really great how the community here and how the city is accepting this form of public art. Definitely.
I love that. Yeah, really cool. By the way, like how many artists are working on that, or like do you even know like how many are doing that street cyber art?
I can't tell you. I don't know how many actually are in our crew because it's growing exponentially. Many people they buy digital files online, So I don't know what they are doing with it, how they're spreading it, but I know that there almost in every country there are a couple people, one or more people that are active, that are spreading stickers, posters, and that are part of the Street Cyber crew. Also, even wearing a T-shirt outside, where in public, where they see the message. It's also a form of art. It's raising your voice and speaking your mind, and this is what street art is about. It gives a voice to the unheard, to the to those that are somewhere lost in the system, and it's in general. So street art is most of the time it's political, and it's about social problems that should be paid more attention to. And through our art, we bring the attention to the money and to the financial world. So
Yeah.
adding a new aspect to this movement.
I partnered up with Coin Vigilante. This is the most beautiful Bitcoin timepiece that I ever saw created by anyone. Look at that beauty. I love it so much. Coin Vigilante made a perfect Bitcoin watch. That's the perfect, subtle, elegant way to go out there and show that you are a Bitcoiner. And that watch brand is Bitcoin only. And Coin Vigilante just dropped a completely new and amazing Genesis edition of their watch collections. You have the date of the first ever mined Bitcoin block in there, and of course also the block height and which epoch we are currently in. I love the level of detail they put in this masterpiece, and make sure to check out those amazing Coin Vigilante timepieces down in the descriptions. I love those watches so much. If you watch or listen to my podcast on a regular basis, I guess you already bought some Bitcoin. And now the most important step is to keep the Bitcoin. Keep them secure in a hardware wallet. My personal recommendation for hardware wallet is the BitBox. It's super secure. It's simple to set up. It's also a perfect gift for a friend who has still their Bitcoin on an exchange. And you can get a 5% discount with the code Robin at the checkout. Visit bitbox.swiss/Robin to get your BitBox. And the next step is to really level up your sovereignty as an individual. You have to have the most secure self-custody setup. You have to secure your own devices. You have to protect your privacy. You have to set up an inheritance plan. And depending on where you live, you even want to have a plan B, a citizenship where you can move in case something goes really wrong. And through all those steps, the Bitcoin way is guiding you through step by step. And if you visit thebitcoinway.com/partners/Robin, you even get a 30-minute free call to find out how you can level up your sovereignty. Really cool. What is it about street art that fascinated you in the first place and got you into street art?
What's most fascinating for me was that it's real. You know, it's rough. It's a part of the urban landscape. It's if you start once you see it, you won't unsee it. It's everywhere. It's in every movie that you watch that is filmed on the streets. It's when you go outside, it's in every corner, and it's like a movement against the big media that forces us to consume the products that they are placing outside, like perfume or iPhone or the Louis Vuitton belt, and that makes us feel that when we go outside and see it everywhere, subconsciously we think we need it to fit in. We need it to fit into our environment because this is how our nature is. We try always to fit into our environment, and many people get sick, get depressions because they don't feel that they fit in, and we reclaim the public space because it belongs to us, just as the money belongs to us.
It's like there's a lot of connections between street art and Bitcoin. It seems it's really fascinating of how many kind of comparisons you can draw there. I do like that a lot.
Yes, it's really amazing how Bitcoin and street art have so many parallels. It's Bitcoin is open source, street art is also open source, which means that the artworks that you see on the streets, they belong to the public, and I don't have any copyright also on the designs, so anyone can take the design, they can change it to their will, they can adjust it, and this is also a way to create an international artist community and to make the people see that everyone can be an artist, everyone can be part of something bigger, and it's as easy as putting a sticker somewhere, even just on your water bottle that you carry outside, and someone else see it, or put it on some light post sticker, and you're designing your environment, and you create the future that you want to see by raising your voice through art, through street art.
And there's also this aspect of street art kind of having to, like, it has, as always, has history, because like there's maybe a wall where there's street art on top of it, and then there will come something new on the top of that wall, and it like has some versions, and it has some new aspects of it. It's almost like forks and new versions of Bitcoin, where like street art is also like a kind of progressing. And I'm also really interested in the thing that you talked about before, that street art war form of like someone is crossing out the Bitcoin symbol and maybe like making something else next to it, and it's kind of a language between street artists where they're connecting and they're talking to each other. What about the connection there, and the aspect of street art being information war between street artists even?
Yes, it's street art is a form, like you said, it's a form of communication. Actually, it's the most how do you say it? It's the most resilient form of communication. It's actually it's bigger than social media, and it's also bigger than the the media, the mainstream media, because you can turn off your phone, but eventually most people go outside, so the message will reach them sooner or earlier, and it cannot be censored, it cannot be controlled, it cannot be stopped, and it's as old. For example, the paste ups. So when we paint, make a painting on paper and then glue it somewhere on a wall. This technique is as old as the printing press itself, putting some paper with wheat paste on the wall. So it's in our every culture incarnated, that some paper on the street, some commercials, so something that always was there for as long as we can remember. And yes, like I said, it's a really effective form of communication. When you said you never saw any like sticker or piece on the street, but once you start spreading, like sticking your own stickers, and then, for example, it's really cool when you are in the city and you walk into the city and you look at some corner and you see a sticker that you put there after like a month that you put it there, or after like 3 months. You feel like home. You feel, oh yeah, it's my sticker right there on the corner. It gives you like a feeling of belonging into the city. And once you achieve this feeling, and then, for example, when you travel to Barcelona and you see the same stickers that you stick in your neighborhood in Barcelona, it makes you feel like welcome. It makes you feel connected to the community. And at the end, when you take a closer look at the stickers and what we produce, there's never somewhere, it never says a name. There's no signature. It's just like the design and the message. And it's intended because everyone can be street cyber, everyone can be an artist. And it doesn't matter, was it Street Cyber who put the sticker on there, or was it Robin, or was it someone else? It doesn't matter, you know. You just feel this connection to this community, and it's really great. You never really feel alone, and at some point, and even in the most distant corner of this world, there will be some sticker that you find because they're everywhere.
Oh yeah, like the small stickers I see a lot. Like even in Vienna, like even where like, oh, like there's a Bitcoin sticker, and once you get like aware of it, like you see more of them. But like what I meant is like I didn't see really a
Like a
Tron wall.
mural. Yes, they're
Like,
rare. They're more rare.
yeah, they're more rare. But the stickers I see a lot.
That's
I mean,
great.
only if I go to my local meetup in Vienna, they usually have stickers, and there are usually like also the street art stickers on it. I mean, I think there's even in the restaurant where we usually eat, I think there's a picture of a street art in there. I think he has some art of you as a picture in there.
Yes,
I think I'm not.
delicious. How is it? Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
that's delicious. Exactly. Like
yes,
he
yes,
has
yes.
it
There's
on the wall. That was really
the
cool.
panda. Yes, there are three, I think, three artworks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so amazing. Yeah, I just thought about it now, like, and I realized it, and then I think we even talked about it last time I was there, like a month ago or something like that. And it was really cool to see that in a restaurant where you can eat. Unfortunately, it's quite far away from my place, not that far away, but it's in Vienna. For me, there are other restaurants close. Otherwise, I would go there way more often. But yeah, it's pretty cool to see that in real life. How would you say in social media influenced street art in the last 5, 10, 15 years?
Yes, I think social media gave street art more long-term living range, or like an indefinite living range, because street art is about the moment. You know, it doesn't matter if your artwork will stay there for 1 hour or 10 years, because it's about the moment. It's about what happens the time at this moment, and it's always a reminder that we don't have tomorrow, we don't have yesterday, we have now. That's all that we have. So it's always about right now, and because street art doesn't have this most of the time doesn't have a long period of life, through the videos and through the photos that is possible to upload online, and through the creation also of NFTs or inscriptions, it's possible to conserve this information for the future generations, so they can take a look and see, okay, this and that happened on the streets. And this is what I told you, what I like the most about street art. It's real, you know. You can't fake it, and you can't make it look like you made a mural on the street. You have to actually go out and do it. Of course, you can make some digital Photoshop, but it's there. You can see a difference. You can't fake what's real, and this is what I like the most. That you actually have to do something to achieve your goal, and of course, it gives you some adrenaline push. It's really great, just to enjoy your time. And through social media, of course, we can connect our community. We can reach out much more farther. We can distribute our stickers worldwide, and have a place where we can offer this. And I think it's really important to not only create street art. Also, I think even if we wouldn't upload anything and wouldn't be online at all, it would be still successful, because like I told you, the streets are the most powerful platform that we have. There's nothing more powerful than the streets as a platform to raise your voice. And but the social media gives us a place where we can gather internationally and talk with each other and connect, of course.
Yeah,
Like,
and then there's the aspect of like, even if you don't take a picture and you put some art out there on a wall, it's highly
someone
likely
else.
if it's a good art that someone else takes a picture and puts it
Yeah,
online, and you
yeah.
might see it. So you I, I think you, if it's a good one on a good point and a good moment in the street, it will find its way online, I feel like.
Yes, it's for our situation here in Barcelona. I can say that we have 3 or 4 street art photographers that are actually hunting. Also, there are different. The street art is not only about the artists. There are also photographers that take the pictures, that create books, street art books, coffee table books, that use those footage for their own projects. And we have 3 or 4 people here in Barcelona that are actually always taking pictures and uploading our works. And still, through the social media, we can somehow see also the impact of the street art. It gives us like a direction to see what is happening. Of course, we cannot really know how big the impact really is, because not everyone shares their story with us or lets us know, hey, I did this in this project. Many people, they want to stay private. They don't want anyone to know that they are spreading stickers or spreading posters, and they want to stay anonymous. So, but through social media, yeah, we can see a slight glimpse of the impact, what is happening on the streets, through the pictures that someone else takes, or through the. We have also many journalists. We had once recently interview with a Forbes journalist who saw artwork in London and got interested. So it shows us this impact. And of course, they reached out to us through social media, because on the streets they wouldn't find us so easy. But
Yeah, they
even
kind of have
when
to
we
wait.
were, yeah, sorry.
I just wanted to say, like, it's hard to catch a street artist if you cannot find them online. That
Right,
you have to kind of ask around. Maybe he's known locally or something like that.
right. Yeah.
Sorry that I interrupted you. Did you want to say more about that?
No, I think I said like most of it. So yeah, it gets a lot of interest also from journalists that saw something on the street, and it's really great. I always like to say that Bitcoin is the tool, and street art is the power to impact our society.
It's also like it's also fascinating. I think people are extremely fascinated by things that are done in real world and then posted on social media. Like if you are scrolling through social media, people seem to really be fascinated by things that people do in the public place, and great things like dances, art, whatever in the public place, in like street interviews and like so many different arts, because it shows like the courage of like going out there and being your own voice in the public place and being vulnerable in that space. I think that's something really cool about being out there and getting you out there. And I think people are also really fascinated by that aspect of social media where things are outside and things are in the public place and interact with the real world, and not just not just like me with like always the same background, whereas like most people don't know if it's a real background or like just like a generated one. It's a real one. Oh, I think I never showed that on the podcast. Maybe I can show it. It's a wall basically that I could touch, and it's just LED lights. But yeah,
And
like
I was
that.
thinking the same actually, what you just said.
Yeah, I think most people think that it's not a real background. It's just it's
Yes.
actually a wall.
All right.
I could put some. I could put the monkey there or something like that, like some art there. That would be maybe cool to have like that wall completely painted with like a Bitcoin art and then like nicely lit up. That could be a cool project for the podcast art and the background of it.
Yes, sure. It would also give more personality and speak for you. You know, the artworks, they speak for you, so you don't have to say so much. And this is like the intention. And also, when I was creating, especially the first collection, the Bonanza One, the 7 designs, it was intended to be opener. Like I told you, like if you explain an artwork, a person is much more interested in listening, and they understand it much better. So the first 7 designs, um, each has an explanation, and you can use it also to open topics about financial borders, financial privacy, segregation, and inflation. And for the people, it's really, like I told you, because they see the artwork, they can touch it, they can feel it, and makes it more real for them what you're telling them, the information.
I also love the one that you did with the white paper. I will just quickly show to people. Oh, and now I clicked away. I think that's the white paper
Yes.
where you kind of over the white paper there's art pieces, and it's really powerful because it's really cool to hang the white paper in your living space. But it's even cooler if the white paper has some art in it. That's even cooler.
Nice, thank you. Yeah, it would
So
also
I
look
love
great
that.
on the wall, on your wall, in the background.
Yeah, there's I have to do a lot of things, but I did that actually because I was lazy. I had the LED lights and everything already at home, and I was like, okay, I want to make a nice podcast studio, and then I was like, okay, let's not buy like furniture and put things and stuff like that. Let's just put the lights there. And it was just a lazy move of mine, but people actually seem to like it because it's quite unique and it's very minimalistic. And I mean, I also get the people also say it's too bright. People are like, oh, it hurts my eyes because it's too bright. But like, yeah, I don't care. You can listen to it. But yeah, let's go back to one more thing that I really want to get in before I forget it. You are a street artist, and you're an artist, and how and we are a lot about surfaces in Bitcoin, and we are a lot about the how Bitcoin works. But I think the UI and the UX has kind of some still some improvement potential for Bitcoin. How do you see currently the UI and the UX of the Bitcoin ecosystem, of Bitcoin apps, of the Bitcoin things, the layers on top of the back end of Bitcoin? Do you think that it needs a lot of improvements, or like how do you see the artistical or the design of the Bitcoin ecosystem?
I think it's moving in a really great direction, and during the last half year, a lot of improvement happened. A lot of improvement happened. If you look at Noster, for example, Primal, it works much smoother, and uploads are working really great. So they did a really nice job. Lightning is working seamlessly. It's also really easy to use it and integrate into Web3 through Albi, for example, as a Web3 wallet. So I think it's really great, and more wallets are being released by big companies, and of course, there's always work to do, but and for like mass adoption, it's early, but we are still early, so we are. It's in time. I don't think that we should have been somewhere much further in front than we are right now. And I think when the time will come, when the masses are ready to embrace this new technology, it will be all done and set, because it's moving quite well in my eyes.
Yeah, like the things are moving in a really good direction. I also think it gets better and better with the minute, but I do think it has to be get even simpler. I think more, if you onboard someone on like, oh, like, yeah, you set up your self custody, I think the apps just have to be so easy and so dumb to use. But maybe that's just my obsession with
Yeah,
simplicity
what I
with
saw
things.
on site of adoption, so many times when people ask me what I'm doing, and I tell them, and they get interested, and a lot of people they start to also want to accept Bitcoin in their business, like my barber, for example, and I got them to download Aqua Wallet, and they they didn't need any help, any questions, and in the beginning you have the message, the important message: write down your private key. So I think this is the most important for the beginning, and they use it. They pay in Bitcoin, and those are people that have never had anything to do with it and just hear the term Bitcoin somewhere, and just are getting started. Same the art gallery where we had our exhibition. They also accept Bitcoin as a payment now, also via Lightning. And it's really great because they have over 150 different artists, and you can buy all of their artworks and pay for Bitcoin. Even those artists, they have nothing to do with Bitcoin. They maybe don't even like it, but you can still buy their artworks with Bitcoin. And this is, I think, the power of a strong community, and the power of the art that shows the people that Bitcoin is not only about money. Bitcoin is much more than money.
Yeah, that's a great message. Like it has so many great implications outside of Bitcoin, outside of money. What do you think are maybe the social impacts or implications that you see for the world with Bitcoin? Like what Bitcoin can bring to the world?
I think Bitcoin brings more social justice by giving everyone equal access to the financial system, by giving everyone equal uh, opportunity to participate in this ecosystem. And I would say not it's even more than equal. It's open for everyone, and because for equality is not the same for everyone, but the opportunity on this financial system is the same for everyone. Maybe someone has to put in more work and someone has to put in less work, but the opportunity to achieve the goal is the same for everyone. And this is what the proof of work algorithm essentially secures, that we have that no one can take this privilege away from you, like it is, for example, right now with the fiat system, that not everyone has the same access, not everyone has the same privileges. You know, if you have good relationship to your banker, you have much more possibilities than if you're some middle class, normal dad who just has his work-life balance figured out and tries to do the best. For them, it's much harder. And Bitcoin turns the pillows the pillars of modern society upside down. So it almost makes corruption impossible. And for right now, our financial system, it rewards the corrupt. It rewards the scammers. It's much easier to be corrupt and to do illegal things without being caught, like money laundering or um, things like this. And on Bitcoin, it's more costly. So corrupt behavior, trying to manipulate the financial system, trying to manipulate the books, or trying to hide transactions, will turn out much more costly than trying to achieve your goal in an honest way. And I think this is the strongest social impact that we have, that nobody is excluded, that everyone has the same opportunity.
Yeah, it's almost like it levels the playing field. If you think about like a soccer game, where yes, the different players have maybe different strength, speeds, skill, shooting power, whatever. But they all have to obey the same rules, and the rules are enforced by the Bitcoin protocol, and nobody can cheat the rules. So like it gives everyone the opportunity to play as great as they can, and everyone can win. But there's still a difference in which player you are, how strong your foot is, and you can influence your odds of winning, and you can influence your position in the field when you train, when you work out, when you hustle. This is the kind of the proof of work aspect of it, and so it's really great to see that with Bitcoin, because now it's about who has the best ideas and not who is the closest to the money printer. And I think that will change a lot in society. That's an amazing insight that you gave us today.
Thanks. Yes, it will be a more inclusive society also. So what people will not be, I think they will be more open, and it will unite and make people feel part of something big.
Absolutely, I 100% agreed. What is for you outside of the art and the aspect of social justice? Is there another field in Bitcoin that excites you a lot?
Our current topic for this year that I think is very important in the time to come. It's about consumerism, and because through in the last 3 to 5 years there was so much liquidity produced, so much money printed, like in the last 100 years wasn't. So and you when you pay attention, you can feel that the people right now, they are spending much more. They are right now, we have economic upturn. Bitcoin is going up, and all those funds are also going up, and liquidity is there. We can feel the liquidity. A lot of people traveling, making big purchases, cars, apartments, and it's just a byproduct of this money printing that gives us a little time to feel like everything is all right just before the next crisis comes in. And this is our topic. It's the project Tile that we started a couple of days ago, and it concentrates about on true ownership and long time preference, compared to the fiat system where we don't own our money, and this money has a short time preference, which means that we are forced to spend it because today it's worth more than tomorrow. And we, even the people that don't think about it subconsciously, they feel it, and they spend because economy has to go. And that's why each tile says buy, It's a commentary on this economic landscape that forces us to consume, that forces us to spend our money endlessly just to fuel the system. So then they can print more money that we can spend again. And Bitcoin is the answer to this. It doesn't has to be like this. When we have money, sound money that we can hold, that we truly own, that doesn't get devalued every minute, uh, we can create a world which is much more um, concentrated on conserving our wealth and not just destroying and eating and buying through all the resources that we can possibly pump out of this earth.
I love that aspect of how Bitcoin influences our buying behavior. It definitely
Right.
influenced my buying behavior a lot. And I think like every Bitcoiner can relate to that, like how Bitcoin influenced their behavior to money, their financial needs, and it definitely gives you a lot of things to to think about in that terms. Really cool. I have one question to ask each and every one of my guests, and the question is, what can we learn from you besides Bitcoin?
You can learn about street art and about the reality of the streets and the reality of our society and of our life together here on Earth. And the designs, what you can learn, they inherit not only the lessons about Bitcoin, but they also inherit life lessons that have been gathered by humanity over the last decades. If you just look at the most basic design that we have, this is the projectile. It's in the middle, it says buy with the Bitcoin B. In the background, we use different patterns, patterns that exist in our brains almost from the beginning of time, since the human existed. So like a square, diamond shape pattern. And even those patterns, they have a lot of cultural and how do you say it? They have a lot of cultural backgrounds, and sometimes we use designs that are more inspired from Asia. And so you can always, if you pay attention and ask the right questions, you can always learn more than that you see.
That's very true. Like you can get from an environment way more than just what you get on a surface level. I do
Right.
like that a lot.
And just to take it one step further, our designs, we always reference to different artists, and we also reference to different iconic figures. A lot of artworks are inspired by Banksy. Some artworks are inspired by an artist named Dolk, and others, many other artists that we are inspired by, and we use like Super Mario or Vegeta or Frida Kahlo, which was also a really, really great artist, one of the greatest. So when you look behind the message of Bitcoin, you will always find some references to cultural occasions, to iconic figures. For example, Frida Kahlo. I think many people know her, but other people that see the sticker and she has like the Bitcoin earrings and she has the message "Change the money, change the world." You can also ask yourself, who is this woman? Who is this actually? And then you can learn something completely different.
That's beautiful. Yeah? Really cool. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. we have an end routine in the podcast where the previous guest is asking a question for the next guest without knowing who the next guest actually is. And your question from the previous guest is, what's the best advice you have ever received?
Let me think about it. The best advice was invest in yourself. This was the best advice.
Absolutely. That's the only thing more valuable than Bitcoin is investing in your own skills and knowledge and your own time and getting your time back at it. That's a great one. Yeah. Really cool. Thank you so much, Street Seyr, for being on. Before I let you go, where can people find the great art? Where can people find you and reach out to you?
Yes, we have many different social media platforms: Twitter, streetcyber_art, our online gallery, streetcyber.art, and Instagram is the same, streetcyber.art. Those are our most active platforms. And of course, keep your eyes open on the streets, and maybe you will also see something there.
Absolutely, it will be fun to see. Like if I find something, I'll send it to you on Twitter. Really cool. Thank you so much, Street Seyr, for being on. Also, thank you so much for everyone that is watching and listening, for joining us today. As always, I'll be back tomorrow with another episode. Bye bye.